A sorcerer's magic is unlike anything in Dungeons & Dragons. It doesn't come from books or patrons or gods, but from within the sorcerer themselves. A sorcerer does not need to work or earn their gifts. It was within them all along, like the magic of Christmas. Which to me begs the question, why work on something you're innately good at when you could learn a practical skill, like using a sword? Introducing the Spellblade, a sorcerer's origin for martial magicians and combative casters. This homebrew subclass is for sorcerers who channel their magic inside themselves and their weapons, becoming a double threat of magic might and martial also might. Starting at level 1, Spellblades get access to Spellblade spells. As you level up, you learn the following spells, which count as sorcerer spells for you, but don't count against the spells you know. These include Expeditious Retreat, Hex, Flame Blade, Magic Weapon, Fly, Haste, Elemental Bane, Stone Skin, Fast Step, and Telekinesis. Like other Sorcerer's origins, when you gain a Sorcerer level, you can replace one of the spells from the list with another Wizard, Warlock, or Sorcerer spell. However, instead of being shoehorned into a particular school of magic, the spells you choose must be concentration spells. Sorcerers don't get to learn as many spells as the other spellcasting classes do. The Spellblade spell list gives you a small inventory of concentration spells that can buff yourself or debuff your enemies, leaving your learned spells free to take combat spells to help you in the thick of the fight. You also gain a unique feature where if you lose concentration on a Spellblade spell that you have cast on yourself, you can use your reaction to maintain concentration instead. Starting at level 1, you also get the feature Spellblade Training, which gives you proficiency in martial weapons, light armor, and shields. You can use martial or simple weapons as a spellcasting focus, and you can also perform the somatic components for spells, even when holding a weapon. In addition, you can also use the metamagic options you gain at level 3 on weapon attacks as though they were spell attacks. Weapon attacks are considered to be cantrips for the sake of spell level requirements, and metamagic features can only apply to one attack roll regardless of how many attack rolls you can make. Take that, fighter multiclasses. Now I know there's some rules lawyers out there who think that there are certain metamagic options that don't work with weapon attacks, like careful or extended spell. These options are augmented when used with weapon attacks. Here's the differences here. I'm just not going to read out a big list for you because that would be boring, so you can pause to read or download the PDF in the comments. Basically, this gives you some creative ways to augment your weapon attacks. You can quicken spell a sword strike to attack multiple times in one turn, you can twin spell a crossbow bolt to hit 2 targets at once, or you can transmute your sword, wreath it in glowing flames, and bypass any resistances to non-magical weapons. Starting at level 6, you get the feature Arcane Attack. When you use your action to make a weapon attack, you can make a second weapon attack immediately afterwards. You cannot make this second attack if another feature allows you to attack as a bonus action or a reaction. You can also choose to forego this second weapon attack and instead choose to protect yourself with an arcane barrier. By expending a spell slot of first level or higher, you can increase your AC by half the slot's level, rounded up, until the end of your next turn. You also gain this bonus to any strength, dexterity, or constitution saving throw made until the end of your next turn, or any wisdom, intelligence, or charisma saving throw made until the end of your next turn. Your choice between the two sets. Basically, you get multi-attack, but you can also choose to forego the second attack and protect yourself instead, because remember, you're still a sorcerer and your hit die is still only a d6. Starting at level 14, you get martial magic. Any weapon you wield is considered to be a magic weapon. Whilst wielding a melee weapon, ranged spell attack rolls don't have disadvantage when made against creatures within 5 feet of you, and whilst wielding a ranged weapon, any spell that deals damage and has a range other than touch or stealth is considered to have the range of your weapon's normal range. For reference, the normal range is the first number when the ranged weapon has 2 numbers. Also at 14th level, you get the feature Fighting Spirit. Before you make a death saving throw, you can choose to expend a number of sorcery points of your choice and add +1 to the roll for every point expended. If you roll a natural 20 on a death saving throw, you gain a number of hit points equal to 5 times the amount of sorcery points expended instead of just 1. Again, you must remember, d6 hit die. Finally, at 18th level, you can go beyond limits. As a bonus action, you can expend 7 sorcery points and assume a unique battle stance for 1 minute or until you become incapacitated. Whilst in this stance, you have the following benefits. Your movement speed is doubled and your jump distance is tripled. You can use metamagic options on your weapon attacks without expending sorcery points. Fog, vapors, and loose items under 5 pounds are pushed 10 feet away from you. And if you use your action to cast a spell of first level or higher, you can make 2 weapon attacks as part of the same action. I do not watch anime, but if I did watch anime, I would say that using this feature is like the main character saying, I have to go all out just this once. So there you have it, the Spellblade, a martial magician who can both wield a sword and eventually get access to 9th level spells. What's the worst that can go wrong? If this sounds like the Sorcerer subclass for you, you can download it now at artofthecat.itch.io, along with some other homebrew subclasses I built there prior. This took like 30 minutes of takes. Why was this one so difficult?